Fear. False evidence appearing real. Now, I'm here again to talk to you about what to do in a nuclear blast, per the CDC, right? We're going to go over that now. Thank you for coming, and make sure you come back because I'll be covering more on this topic as well. I tried to pull off a live, but I guess until I have 1,000 viewers, they don't let me do lives. They locked it away somewhere in a private vault. Maybe they'll release it when I get that 1,000 subscribers. That means I need you guys to all share the video. All right? Share it. If you're a mom, it's going to be on you. We already know that. To do all the prep. Dads, we need you too. Because we're going to need you to go to the hardware store and pick up a few things. All right? I guess I'll go over the CDC first. And then I'll talk to you about some do-it-yourself things that you can do to prepare. All right? I want you to educate the children. And also remember about your animals. Okay? Because your animals drink water. And you won't be able to let them outside to use the bathroom. You won't be able to let them outside to drink. So fill every bottle you have. Instead of recycling those bottles, fill them up with regular old tap water and put them away. All right? You can put like a little drop or so of bleach and it makes it last longer. It's just chlorine. They put that in our water anyway. So let's get to it. You know I got it for you, right? All right, here, let's go on over to the CDC and see what they're talking about, all right? Bear with me, you guys, because I want to be thorough with this. And I'm not here to scare anyone. And I'm not here to give you misinformation, all right? Because Putin's already put it out there, what he intends to do if we interfere. And you know, we can't keep our nose out of nothing. The United States of America. All right. So this is what I'm looking at. The CDC radiation emergencies frequently asked questions about nuclear blasts. Now that's all I'm looking at. That's what I'm going to cover. Now, my telephone is what I'm using, and it clicks off by itself. So if it ends, I'm going to restart and do another part. I'll tell you that now. All right. Now, the frequently asked questions. I'm starting without my glasses. That's not good. Let's see. I think I have a pair right here. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm old. You guys know that already, though. If you've been around here at all, you know I'm old lady. Thanks for coming. I know a lot of you guys are young. I appreciate the things that you say to me. It keeps me going. This isn't easy. I watched Linda Cabrera. Boy, my hat's off to her. And so many others that get up on a daily basis and cover news and information that we need. They're so faithful about it. There's no way I could do that. Ready? Here we go. With the recent threats of terrorism, many people have expressed concern about the likelihood of the effects of a nuclear blast. The Center for Disease Control Prevention has developed this fact sheet to describe what happens when a nuclear blast occurs, the possible health effects, and what you can do to protect yourself in any type of emergency. What is a nuclear blast? A nuclear blast produced by an explosion of a nuclear bomb, sometimes called nuclear detonation. It involves joining or splitting of atoms called fusion or fission. That's the process that the atoms split by. To produce an intense pulse wave of heat, light, air pressure, and radiation. So nuclear fission produces waves of heat, light, air pressure, and radiation. The bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, at the end of World War II produced nuclear blasts. What I want to tell you, the people in Nagasaki, we kept this top secret that they were making this bomb. If you haven't seen the Manhattan Project, look it up. It's some good info about how when we want to do something top secret, we do something top secret. They built the whole city top secret. So we have a heads up. They didn't. 71% of the people in Japan survived the blast. Now we know about it. We got a heads up. We could prepare. They didn't. So we do know what we can do to do something instead of feeling just totally helpless. We're not helpless. We're not helpless. Do not bury your head in the sand. It's part of our reality now. When a nuclear device is exploded, a large fireball is created. Inside of this fireball vaporizes everything inside. This fireball vaporizes, including soil, water, and it is carried upward. It's carried upward. This creates a mushroom cloud that is associated with the nuclear blast. You've seen all those photographs. All right. Now, the duration of the explosion and how close you are to it makes a difference. Radioactive material from the nuclear device mixes with the vaporized material in the mushroom cloud. As this vaporized radioactive material cools, it becomes condensed, forms particles such as dust. It forms particles such as dust. Or it could look like flakes. Like if you saw the book of Eli and he was trying to kill that cat, obviously the cat had already been radiated because it didn't have any hair. And in that, it was real dark. And there was stuff floating in the air. It looked like snowflakes. That's not snowflakes, that's fallout. That's what fallout looks like. All right. So these particles, they turn into dust, and the condensed radioactive material known as fallout falls back down to the ground, carrying long distances in the wind currents, and ends up miles from the site of the explosion. Fallout is radioactive and can cause contamination of everything, which includes land, food, and water supplies. Don't get anything out of the tap after this happens, when and if it happens, all right? This is the same thing as a meltdown. If you have nuclear power plants around your house, this is the same thing. A nuclear meltdown can do the same thing as a blast. Radiation, it comes in three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. And it's odorless, tasteless, and you can't smell it. Look up plutonium. Plutonium is an after product. They call it waste product. But really it's not wasted because they use it for rocket fuel. And they use it for bombs. All right. So, yeah, anything that has this air, this particles have blown on, each one of those particles is radioactive, and it doesn't die. You cannot kill it. I mean, it won't go away. It won't be as intense. But one thing about radiation, or uranium, is it's found already in real minute amounts all over the world. And the way it's multiplied is by man, because the Creator didn't put enough here to hurt us. Man did. Man multiplied it, and there's no place to store it. It won't stay contained in anything. They have never found a way to store it. They've dropped it at the bottom of the ocean in England. It's still down there in containers. It's leaking. We've got so much nuclear waste in our environment already. I don't want to talk about it right now. We're going to just talk about Putin and what Putin might do, all right? And what you do if he does. At the same time, he's got control of Chernobyl. So if you leave a power plant without proper operation, the cooling system has to be continuously maintained, or it overheats and it can cause a meltdown. So not only is he controlling the missiles, he's controlling the nuclear power plants too. And if there's some type of war, you can't have scientists, nuclear scientists, paying attention when they're worried about getting shelled. It just don't work that way. I hope I didn't get off the track, but I know I did. Follow me, okay? Don't turn it off. Really, I have it here. Okay, what are the effects of a nuclear blast? The effects on a person from a nuclear blast will depend on the size of the bomb and the distance the person is from the explosion. However, nuclear blasts could likely cause great destruction, death, and injury, and have a wide area of impact. A nuclear blast, injury or death may occur as a result of the blast itself, or as a result of the debris thrown from the blast. People may experience moderate to severe skin burns depending on their distance from the blast site. Those who look directly into the blast could experience eye damage ranging from temporary blindness to severe burns of the retina. Don't look at it. If you hear it, close your eyes. If you could feel something weird, lay on the ground, close your eyes, and lay on top of your hands. You got to remember that. Lay down. They show you in the movie everybody up running around. That's not what you do. That's like being on fire and running. You're supposed to stop, drop, and roll, right? Okay. So, you could have severe burns. Individual near the blast site would be exposed to high levels of radiation and could develop serious symptoms of radiation sickness called acute syndrome. Acute radiation syndrome, ARS, acute radiation syndrome. While severe burns would appear in minutes, other health effects would take days or even weeks to appear, or longer. These effects range from mild, such as skin reddening, to severe effects such as cancer or death, depending on the amount of radiation absorbed by the body, the dose, the type of radiation, and the amount of exposure, and the length and the duration of the exposure. You don't want to be out in it. People may experience two types of exposure from radiation materials from a nuclear blast: external exposure and internal exposure. The external exposure would occur when people were exposed to radiation outside of their bodies from the blast or the fallout. Internal exposure would occur when people ate food or breathed the air that was contaminated from the radioactive fallout. Both internal and external exposure from the fallout that occurred miles away from the blast, that would still affect you. Exposure to very large doses of external radiation may cause death within a few days or months. And let's see, breathing it or eating the food contaminated with radioactive fallout may lead to increased risk of developing cancer or other health effects. They don't tell you, but radiation does not leave your body. It's accumulated. And over time, you accumulate, like every time you get an x-ray, you're accumulating radiation. If it's in the water, the fish absorb it. If you eat the fish, you get it inside you. If you drink the water, you get it inside you. If a cow eats the grass that was grown on a field that's radiated, the grass is radiated, the cow is radiated, and you get radiated from eating the meat. The only thing you can eat is what you had stored. You can only eat and drink water that you already stored. Put tubs and tubs of water somewhere, cover it because mosquitoes will get in it. Cover your water, get enough tubs, especially if you have dogs. If you have any kind of animals, if they're not in the house with you. And every house is different. You want to try to get in your basement, get in your cellar, get away from the attic. The attic, the roof area, and everything, that's where this stuff falls. Those dust particles will be, turn off your air conditioners as soon as you hear anything. Turn it off because it's sucking in radiation into the house. You want to prevent anything from coming in the cracks anywhere. So my suggestion is to get pallets. And because a pallet's already put together, and you can get those long nails, nail it up to your wall, and then stick stuff in between the window and the pallet, and that'll help prevent some of the radiation from coming through the windows. Just ideas, you know. Big bags of dirt, soil collects it good, absorbs it good. They don't tell you that here though. Hey boy, my dog woke up. I'm thinking about dogs because I have 2 dogs and a cat. You might have seen them on some of the channels sometime. Come on back before you mess up the film. Come on back. Back up. Back up. Good boys. Good boys. Good boys. Good listeners. Okay. How can I protect my family during a nuclear blast? In the event of a nuclear blast, a national emergency response plan would be activated and would include federal, state, and local agencies. Following these steps were recommended by the World Health Organization if a nuclear blast occurs. You need a real radio because these won't charge up, they won't work. You got to have a real radio with batteries. Go get it now. Don't wait. These stores won't be open. The computers will be down. They can't take money if the computers are down. You can't put gas in your car. Keep your car filled up. Keep money in your house. Keep plenty of water. Ways to block your windows and seal up your air vents. Those are the main things I can tell you to do. Wash yourself. Put your clothes away if the clothes have contacted if anything's got in contact on your clothes. Take them off, put them in a baggie, and put them somewhere. If you can open the door and put them out, put them out. But if you don't want to open the door, put them in a baggie, put them in a tub, and put them away from everybody. Everybody can put everything, all their own radioactive stuff in bags. Take a shower with soap and water. Don't put lotion, brothers and sisters. All right? Don't put no grease back on because the shea butter and stuff will collect it. Okay? You can't get it off you. It'll be stuck into the lotion. So don't lotion up. I know that goes against everything. Soap and water only, like they do. That's all they do. They don't even use conditioner half the time. And it says don't use conditioner. It'll tell you don't use conditioner. That conditioner will lock stuff in. Let's not do that. All right. Where was I? Follow these steps. If you are near the blast when it occurs, turn away and close and cover your eyes to prevent the damage from sight. Close your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Drop to the ground face down. Put your hands under your body. That's to prevent burns. You can't do nothing if your hands are all burned up. Remain flat until the heat and 2 shock waves have passed. You got to lay there. And I don't know how far they pulse behind each other. I have no idea. We don't have drills for this. You know, Biden's sending out safe smoke kits. Looks like he needs to be sending out some stuff we can cover up our windows and doors and tape and give us a better chance of survival. Remove any dust from your clothing. Put a scarf over your mouth. If you have masks, keep your masks. You're going to need them. Don't do a lot of shaking. Remove the dust from your clothes by brushing and shaking or wiping off in a well-ventilated area. That means outside. Don't do that inside. However, cover your mouth and your nose while you do this. Close your eyes. There's 3 things. Eyes, nose, mouth. I don't know why they can't get this right. Move to a shelter in a basement or other underground areas, preferably located from the direction that the wind is blowing. How can you tell which way the wind's blowing? Look at a tree, look at a flag, and see which way it goes and go the opposite direction. Now, one thing they're not telling you, they used to have a lot of underground bunkers all over our cities, all through the United States. Drive around or maybe Google, maybe do this later. Google and see if you can find those nuclear places that they had all set up back in the 50s and 60s. They're still there. A lot of them have food stored in them. The food's no good. But, you know, they need to replenish all that stuff. Instead of them fixing our bunkers, they're doing what? Sending crack pipes to their... Anyway, somebody's got their priorities kind of messed up. If you consider that we're on a heightened state of alert, damn near a war, if not. Wash your hair and change your clothes before entering your house or shelter. You got to be in the house to take your clothes off. This doesn't really make sense. So read this stuff and think it out before you start trying to follow it. Make it make sense to you. Get a list, talk it over with the family so everybody knows what to do. So you're not trying to explain this in 15 minutes from the time the blast happens. You won't have time. Do not neglect doing these things now. Batteries, radio, gas in your car, something to cover up the windows, something to board up the vents. If you have fireplaces, stuff them with pillows. Do whatever you have to do. Make sure there's no way air can get in. Get most of this done now. You can put it over to the side. Nobody really has to see you have it. Put it in the garage. Get you some pallets. Get some big nails. If you are already in a shelter or a basement, cover your mouth and your nose with your mask or other material such as a scarf or a handkerchief until the fallout cloud has passed. So even if you're inside, cover up. Shut off ventilation systems and seal the doors and windows until the fallout has passed. However, after the fallout cloud has passed, unseal the doors and the windows to allow some air circulation. Stay inside until the authorities tell you it's safe to come out. Again, no taste, no smell. You don't know. Listen to the local radio or television for information and advice. Authorities may direct you to stay in your shelter or evacuate to a safer place away from the area. If you must go out, cover your mouth and your nose with a damp towel. Use stored food and drinking water. Do not eat local fresh food or drink water from open water supplies. Most city and county municipalities get a certain amount from their rivers and their lakes, not just well water. All of that will be exposed. Clean and cover any open wounds on your body. So you guys need your first aid kits. Burns. You need burn kits. You need that stuff that triple antibiotic stuff. You can get it at the dollar store. Get you some bandages. You need gauze for burns, not regular bandages. Gauze. Get you plenty of gauze. The cheapest way is maybe some cheesecloth. You can get a big old roll of cheesecloth for little or nothing. It's still a gauze. Before you leave, close and lock your windows and your doors and turn off the air conditioning, fans, and furnace. Close fireplace dampers. Take disaster supplies with you, such as flashlights and extra batteries. If you have a high blood pressure machine like I do, you better get your batteries in your high blood pressure machine and that stuff too. Get your first aid kits and your manuals. Do you have a manual for first aid? Do you even know the body parts? Because Google won't be here. You have a book with little medical first aid things? Call the Red Cross and get one. Have you had any first aid classes? Go to one before anything jumps off. Remember, your neighbors may require special attention, like old people like me. I'm going to be sitting here probably panicked and can't do nothing. I'm calm now, but if I was under attack, I wouldn't be. Make sure you have prescriptions from your doctor and things like that, because like a hard copy for emergency. Put all your documents and things you have, get them together now. Birth certificates, social security card numbers. Put all that stuff in some type of a folder and put it in your refrigerator. It doesn't burn. If you have a tornado, you can find your refrigerator. If you have a fire in your house, it's the only thing that oxygen just won't, burn everything up. Because they burnt my mom and daddy's house down. Everything on the walls, hanging, everything got burnt up. Okay, so a nuclear blast is different from a dirty bomb. Okay, we're not going to talk about dirty bombs. An airplane crash into a nuclear facility. It wouldn't, let's see, what is this talking about? Let's see. While a serious event such as an airplane crash into a nuclear power plant could result in a release of radioactive material into the air, a nuclear power plant would not explode like a weapon. There may be radiation danger in the surrounding areas depending on the type of incident and the amount of radiation released and the current weather pattern. However, radiation would be monitored to determine the potential danger to the people in the area and the local vicinity. Usually that's up to from a nuclear power plant, it's up to 100-mile radius. And I've looked at the maps back east. Look at your map. Google nuclear power plants. And they're not going to tell you the military nuclear power plants, and they're not telling you about all the nuclear submarines on the East Coast. Those are all nuclear as well. Do you need potassium cyanide? Now, I don't know if that's the same thing as a charcoal pill, but I know charcoal pills take all kind of poisons out of you. Let's see if that's what it is. Local emergency management officials will tell people when to take Ki. Ki is potassium iodide. Ki. If a nuclear incident occurs, officials will find out which radioactive substances are present before recommending people to take Ki. If radioactive iodine is not present, taking Ki will not protect people. If radioactive iodine is present, then taking Ki will help a person's thyroid gland from the radioactive iodine. Taking Ki will not protect people from other radioactive substances that may be present along with the radioactive iodine. So that means get it. Go buy. They're saying Ki, and I'm not sure if this is the same thing as a charcoal pill. I know about charcoal pills to get any type of poisons out of you if you get poisoned. Like even little kids that maybe get poisoned from oleander, I don't know, different things. I'm not going to say too much because I can't. Okay, and that's about all they're telling you here. So thank you for hanging in here with me. Join me again